Okay, bear with me a moment as I find my official disclaimer on my phone. The following podcast is protected under the laws of the United States and other countries. Any authorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability, criminal prosecution, and the wrath of the tall man. And I will not disrespect Angus Scrim with that further. So, this is 90 for Chill, the podcast with Catbus Russ. Just making sure we get that feed correct. And I guess this might be the debut episode since this is not going to be on Podbean. But I digress there. So, this is kind of a bonus episode again. So, technically not, I guess. The confusion, the delirium. I'm a bit tired. Got up at, just 2 jobs. I didn't get to bed till about 2 on Wednesday in the morning. Then lots of drama getting ready to come to C2E2, getting picked up in Champaign to head to Morton, and then, waking up at 6, going to bed at 11. So, yeah, and, a lot of walking and such. So, got my steps in. Thank you, Apple Watch. But, so, as I say, I'm at C2E2. Right now I'm in the hotel. Kind of disappointed. Just the lack of activities, I suppose, for after hours. So they close the show floor at 7. So you can't do any shopping, what have you. And then if they don't have anything you're interested in until 9 o'clock, we're going to have Nerdlesque or Improv Olympics. It's it's just, if you don't have anything to keep people interested in that time period, I just don't want to get out of my hotel room to go and, get back to the convention. And heck, I got AEW Rampage, I suppose, but I'm behind because I didn't get a chance to watch Dynamite yet, so no spoilers, I hope. Yeah, so that's, I'm not really sounding too positive, I suppose, and that's not necessarily fair. I mean, it was a good enough drive, safe enough, and then the con has been interesting, to say the least. Zachary, Levi had a great panel to open up. We get some taint chat. You're going to see images of that via my Mastodon at Russ Stevens at mastodon.social, which, of course, I feed onto my Twitter at CatBusRuss. So that's, he was just a very cool guy, honestly, just talking about loving to do what he's doing and great message about mental health. So a pretty positive way to start. Then followed it up with a panel called Keep Your Politics Out of My Comics, or what have you. Basically a panel about by LitX, hashtag WeAreLitX on Twitter. A lot of great people there discussing how to keep the influence of graphic novels now into school. So yeah, there's minimal mention of mouse, but come on. This is the stuff you should be, that kids need to get. I'm fed up with the entire idea we have to, American elitism, and, no, it's time for the frickin' truth. It's a small, bloody world, after all, and it's just very much, kids just need to know the world kind of sucks, or at least what America is doing right now. So, and I'm not saying, obviously, I'm very left, and I'm saying we got great people, but we got a system right now that prevents any kind of change. So, I can go into socialism, communism, what have you. I really hate driving up to Chicago and seeing signs for the circus, Chinese circus, called, I think it's Shen Yue. I might be wrong on that, but their tagline on the billboards, China before communism. It's China before communism wasn't really anything. Hence why the Japanese, a small country, took it over. But I don't know. Not saying that. I mean, after watching Death of Stalin a couple of weeks ago, it's like the party means well. I mean, and we're all gonna have these little screw ups in the development. Now, granted, Stalin was a total dictator, so that even speaks better of the Russians, the Soviets. But the point of the matter is, we are basically allowing people to be excluded. And this panel just basically says, especially in the time of AI, honestly, that, graphic novels are the only way we're really going to get kids to be honest about doing their homework. Chat GPT. And, you can get through a graphic novel of great expectations in a matter of, first graphic novel I read, really, I think, was Red Sun, the Superman landing in Ukraine story. And I got that done in a night, and followed it up with Deadpool, the first run of the Brian Posehn co-written, I believe, where he's killing all the presidents who were resurrected because you can't let the Avengers kill our heroes and founding fathers. So I'm kind of glad that I'm going off on a tangent about a panel basically of librarians and educators just trying to say, look, you got to find... that was basically it. It's like, you got to go and find your own way around that. All their bullshit. So let me pull up my Mastodon. I'm sure I have something to offer. So yeah, that was my last post, I believe. So, you have websites like the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund, which is cbldf.org, Charlie Bravo Lima Delta Foxtrot.org, and you have teachingbooks.net. Great resources. So parents out there, educate your kids. If you're stuck in a bullshit place, basically a red place, or come on, if you're like in my hometown of Morton, there's other people out there. Quit denying that and teach your kids on your own. Like, I could imagine back in the COVID era, just as the pandemic was, we were just before we were totally accepted that people are just going to get COVID. Somebody went on a rant, I guess my mom was saying, like, crying about, the mask in school during, like, hey, bring your veteran to work day. So, and I kind of like, I can imagine the crazy woman who would have done that. And, I guess you could say, in the degree of intimacy with said crazy woman. That's my life, I suppose. Missing that kind of excitement. Which I think I'll get back to when, before this podcast ends. And so, I got to go on the floor a little bit. I didn't really buy anything until the long break I had between panels. The next panel I got to was the C2E2's best Pokemon. And I made a strong case for Bulbasaur. Like, I could have gone a little more, but a lot of people offering stuff. And you got kids, you don't really want to crap on them too much. I don't think I did any. I wasn't going to go and, denounce Pikachu like so many were. Now, did I denounce the hell out of Bulbasaur? And I'm glad that he's considered on a scale of S as in the exception, the truly great, and then an A through F. I'm glad to help put Charizard in the F zone. And my Bulbasaur case, like, I was just trying to hit the PowerPoints. Did better, I think, defense than a lot of people for theirs, which basically is just the host, and I'm sorry that I am blanking on his name. I'll get that pulled up. And that would be Abdallah Smash, originally from Chicago, now based in Salt Lake. So with a name like that, I'm surprised. I'm wondering how the hell he ended up in Salt Lake. Don't think he's making his money strictly on Pokemon YouTube videos. But I digress. So back to this app. Okay. Yeah, so basically, you want to be the very best. You take a Pokemon like Bulbasaur and you go to the top. The gym leader, Lance, he doesn't attack poison Pokemon. You got the grass. Great balance. Anything Venusaur can do, he can do better. So he wasn't voted as a C. I got him up to a B. And, B for Bulba. Bullshit. So if you want the answer to the top Pokemon, it ended up being Snorlax. And, it's the first time I really accepted that Snorlax is a cat. So I'm down with that. Otherwise, I think it was and, forgive me for not knowing. I'm not... Gen 1, I'm down with, which was part of my argument. Like, come on, Bulbasaur had the best personality, or most personality. Squirtle ain't shit without his shades, and Charmander just kept on changing, so screw that. That's not, he was just a douche. Took 2 seasons in before he, was cool. And that's because he was trying to get laid. That's the story of Charizard. So again, yeah, great that he's an F Pokemon. Bulbasaur should be as I say, if you're gonna, I really wanted to use the adage, if you're playing chess, you gotta learn how to win with just knights. But yeah, Snorlax, but the runner-up was the Elysian. I just know it as the Ice Vulpix, which I think a lot really refreshed him, and my elder sister, ThePoeticCritic, who I'm, obviously up here with, if you read the description of the last episode, why is it the new Vulpix? And it's kind of because there's not a new Arcanine, I guess, you can, or Growlithe, you gotta fire Pokemon. I think that was the mistake. And I think, if I'm correct, because I did play Yellow after I played Red, that, Vulpix and Growlithe were separate on Red and Blue. But, come on. I think everything was, the games have gotten a lot more creative, dare I say. I don't know if I'd say better. Playing Pokemon Violet right now, and I'm enjoying it. I wish the breeding was a little better, which got Ditto into the top tier. But it's still fun, and I'm doing the run where if my Pokemon dies, essentially I can't use them anymore. Now, by the point I'm at level 50s, I'm not going to just throw away Pokemon, transfer them, trade them, what have you. I'm just putting them on battle teams. But, I still got a bit to do that, and didn't get the email today that Fight Forever, AEW's latest video game, has arrived. It was supposed to be scheduled, but I digress. So, yeah. So after the Pokemon, I should say, after Bulbasaur snubbing as the best Pokemon, I went to the Pokemon Go meetup and was thoroughly disappointed. It's just people here's my Pokemon, here's my Pokemon. It's I thought we were all supposed to start trading codes and being friends, and it's no, you got families around tables, and it's everybody's just keeping to themselves. I know we're nerds, but come on. Kind of force ourselves. I tried to go to the next thing I did was go onto the floor, and didn't spend too much money. I forgot earrings, so I went to the same shop, and I keep forgetting their name, to stock up this time around. Got myself some Bulbasaur, yeah, right, and a Pokemon's post earrings. I just don't wear the dangly stuff. I should get into that. Then some Harley Quinn related stuff. And what was the last set I got? Some mushrooms from Mario Brothers, the 1-Up and the Power Mushroom. Didn't have poison mushrooms. I guess, after once people played the Lost Levels, everybody just said no purple mushrooms. And, I'm sitting around the stuff, and it's basically, I still am thinking about my video game rule-based wrestling promotion idea that I want to do. And we'll get to the end of that. I got to go and, eventually meet up with the Channel Awesome guys tomorrow, hopefully. Do I have to dress up as Captain N? Nobody gave me any respect for Captain N until, the end of the showcase. Oh, he's dressed as that Captain N as I was at the Channel Awesome panel. Yeah, that's a deep cut. And then, walking by people and Mario stuff, getting photos done in front of the big C2E2 sign. And oh yeah, Captain N. So, but, on the floor, bought those post earrings, debating, because the value, it was only sold for $25. It was a t-shirt Funko Pop combo, and this was IG-11 from The Mandalorian with the child at that point being carried before he goes off on his, awesome Blaze of Glory type stuff. I guess, spoilers from The Mandalorian. Taika Waititi was the voice of IG-11, so... And, I really wish I would have dug in a little more with Zachary Levi. How is it to work with frickin' Taika Waititi on Thor Ragnarok? And, of course, his characters doesn't have any dialogue. He gets killed pretty quick. Hey, get your scale paycheck, I suppose. And I imagine Zachary Levi is more than that, value-wise. So, but, yeah, so I bought that shirt combo, and... I found there's a lot of people who are doing cats. I think this guy, I didn't get his name. No, he's got it written down on the prints. No, Jenny Parks. So I didn't see anybody who looked like a Jenny Parks at the booth. It's, it's dare I say I like to presume, which is not cool, I suppose, I didn't identify myself at any panels, and I only got on the mic once for Bulbasaur. I didn't identify myself as a he, him. Because I really, oh, great, now I'm getting myself into a hole. I don't necessarily think pronoun, dude, if we're going to be accepting of people, who cares what their pronouns are? I know, it's about identity, and we should accept their identity, so I apologize now, after talking it over right here, it's I'm he, him, I'll stand by they, them, just because, as a unifier, but I know who I identify as. I'm a cis male, 1.5 on the Kinsey scale, some would argue 2. And I don't know why you're arguing that with me unless you... Oh, great. No, don't want to go into that rabbit hole. But yeah, great prints by Jenny Parks of cats as fiction movie characters. So I got one for Good Omens. You got, I guess... it was a little more... not a straight up, more tortoiseshell than you'd think. Tabby, but you got an orange tabby is a. Oh shoot! Come on, Russ. Oh, Crowley, the cat that David Tennant. The demon David Tennant portrayed, and now I can't remember the name of Michael Sheen's angel, but yeah, you got those. Another was somebody was trying to, before me in line, was picking out the prints they wanted. It was $15 a piece, or 3 for $30. So I obviously went with that. Somebody was like, "Oh, there's a Hellboy one," and oh yeah, Ron Perlman looks like a cat. So. Awesome. So yeah, I grabbed that one, and then the other one was based on Jareth from Labyrinth, and I don't know, I don't know if the cat's really doing it for me, but there was a little goblin beneath him portrayed by another cat. So yeah, definitely. So got those. So, 35 for the earrings. Three, I think it was one for 15, one post for 15, three for 35, one pair for 15, three for 35. So, IG88 was 25, and those, so $90, not bad for the first day of C2E2 on the floor. And there's stuff I want to get. I saw some Chippendale Pops, $20 a piece, but hey, if I can bring back anything for Mom, that's kind of cool. So yeah, I got that to look forward to. I don't know. Honestly, the floor was in. You kind of expect that on a Friday. Not everybody's going to be at their table. So Artist Alley was kind of light. There's not a lot of dirty fan art out there that I saw. And I still got a lot of stuff to look at on just the sales floor. Because when I was walking back, it's like, I missed that. Okay. Haven't bought myself another saber. I don't plan to. Might just ask Ultra Sabers, hey, tricks on changing the batteries. So yeah. Now I saw some hilt, like, not sheaves. Well, they call them sheaves, but it's like, lightsaber you don't really sheave. The blade doesn't exist. And resisted buying a wooden reverse blade sword from, like, Rurouni Kenshin. So, yeah, that kind of stuff. But yeah, tried to go to the horror meetup, and again, it's just people, like, that is just people wanting to do photos. So I was there, like, maybe I could promote the podcast, but yeah, nobody was really talking to anybody. So it's like, again, strangers don't want to meet strangers, I suppose. And you can say, well, Russ, you didn't get out, but it's like, what, I'm supposed to scream it? Yeah, so, then it was the Channel Awesome panel, ThePoeticCritic, and I was surprised they had us queuing up for that one, and it wasn't a filled room. I mean, it was probably the biggest crowd I've seen for him, so, yeah, they're doing something right, and they're promoting the new web series called Space Trash, and that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Very Red Dwarfian. I didn't bring that up. I didn't get in the queue. But, some people aren't paying attention to, like, these Channel Awesome fans. Like, what's Lloyd going to do next? Lloyd is gone. I really wanted to try. That was the only thing I could really think of to ask if I was going to ask them anything. Was, like, one, how are you adjusting without, with Lloyd passing, and, if the next cat's going to have Lloyd's voice. Two, the only other question I was think of is, favorite studio, AIP or Canon. So, defunct studio, I should say. So, yeah, I can't really say I had much to offer, but they were having a lot of fun at that panel, which is cool. As I say, that's finally when people started recognizing Captain N, the Game Master. Hadn't bought that DVD or Blu-ray, what have you. I'm thinking about maybe dropping the money because Captain N, obviously, too much IP to ever be re-released on physical media. And I did see they had the Muppet Babies, so it's like, as long as it's the Muppet Babies, not this Disney reboot, I'd be game for that. I keep telling myself to do it. Sometime I'm gonna have to do it. Otherwise, as I say, it's like, do I grab this for my wrestling promotion that's not gonna be a thing? And when I'm talking about, Channel Awesome, it's like, and maybe it's not something to bring up, but if I go to their booth, but maybe I should really offer them up I've not watched, I bought a DVD from them last C2E2. It starts with a K, so Kick-Assia, I think is the name of it. And I haven't watched it yet because I haven't gotten to the K's and Alley's accessory shop on Etsy's trash feature reviews. And I say that, and it's like, you probably should get around to actually getting caught up on that. You're definitely behind. So, something to do. If I can get a guest for the next episode, that'll be cool. Alternate and save myself for the Jericho episode that didn't happen. So that's that's it. Otherwise, yeah. Bit of Alien-ation, I suppose. My sister, she's up here a lot, really, just to meet up with her boyfriend, David, who lives up here. But he's a very reserved individual, and it's like, I don't know, you're not much fun, man. I mean, geez, I'm kind of being a dick, I suppose, but he's a good guy. I just, hey, you want to try interacting? Again, it's like everybody just like, oh, very shy, and I can't say I wasn't that at the meetups. It's like, I just wanted some Pokemon friends. And it's like, okay, that obviously is not what we're doing. The horror meetup, it's like, well, I'm not dressed up, and so I'm not going to be taking any photos. And that's kind of something. I can't really say any real cosplay stuck out. Took a photo of an Ewok who is probably taller than me. I really should have done the selfie with him, I suppose. I'm not that kind of person who presses boundaries. So I don't know. It's like, I guess when it comes to the meetups, it's like, the situation is just like, are we going to, am I interesting enough, I suppose? That's what I do. Like, I was talking about this at a coworker. It's like, yeah, dress to express yourself. And then otherwise act like a decent human being. Don't be on your phone when you're in the queue, ever. Follow your instructions. Just be straight-laced. This isn't a freaking bar. Like, we aren't at a freaking bar. So, don't let your inhibitions down, I guess. Me. And I guess at the, meetup, it's like, well, if nobody's going to engage me, I'm not going to engage them. So, but I guess I try to engage with my sister's boyfriend, and it's like, come on, man. I'm interested. I want to be interested. Gosh. So, are there any meetups I think otherwise? Like, the biggest problem is I forgot my business cards, like, being, picked up, because my car's in the shop right now, and driven to, it's not in the shop right now. I would have driven it to at least Morton. But it's like, I'm really just trying to make sure I just had virtually the minimum packed for this trip. So I forgot my business cards. So nobody pulling me over for my jacket with all my podcast information on it. So it's like, I don't know. I guess I just gotta do crazier cosplay. I had an idea for like a Darth Hansen brother from Slapshot, and it's like, I don't think the glasses would work with the paint, so maybe I'll just have to buy a yellow hockey mask, put a black ski mask, blacken my eyes, and all that, and hopefully people will get it. I have to create a double-bladed goalie stick. So, well, maybe for Fan Expo, but I don't know. I had fun today, definitely. It's just feeling alone in a crowd is a thing I deal with. And, fortunately, I can't say anybody's screwing that up for me. Let's just say it led to a breakup at one point. So it's like, but I don't really have anything, like, best cosplay, and I didn't get a picture because, it was early in the morning, was when I got to C2E2, somebody had dressed up like Chris Evans from not another teen movie. I have not seen that movie, but I know some of the hits, and basically he had the whipped cream bikini gimmick on with the banana in his ass. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, I'm just not, I don't know. I'm not somebody who likes to bug people. And I guess going to those meetups, it's like, well, people want to bug people, so I just gotta wait. And like, nope. We're all in our little worlds, and it's like, I feel more comfortable at a Cubs game where nobody is really there to talk to anybody else. But make a good comment somewhere. Basically, if I can't be in a place where I can create a sarcastic comment, I don't know how much I'm worth, at least on a social element. So, but yeah, so I say that all, and it's like, do I really want to do Fan Expo now? What could I do with those, that weekend, those 4 days? It goes back, and Zachary Levi brought it up. Everybody pretty much should be in therapy. And yeah, it looks like my health insurance, provided I don't miss another case of old-fashioned mixers at my second job. My first job, which is exposed on the old feed, I should say, the Podbean feed, has come up. But the insurance is good, and it's like I can go and get the people that I overpaid for to help me out. So at a reasonable rate this time. So, so I guess it's just a really nerve-wracking time for me with, let's see, like the MacGruber / Jericho podcast. The guy who was scheduled for it just didn't interact with me like the day of. Like we talked about it, I brought it up numerous times and like, cool. Yeah, what time are we going to do it? Never responded. Like, I just have the entire day open. Well, then tell me what time you want to lose. And yeah, this is the second time he's done that to me. And we'll leave it at that. But, that kind of feels like, well, I can't count on anybody there. And the entire situation behind a lot of my trip, this trip is kind of like, I can't count on people there. In general, I should say. And yeah, it's like, and now it's like, hoping somebody gives a shit here, and it's like, you're stretching it. So yeah, feeling very alienated, and I need to get a guest for next week's show. So I'll keep pushing that. Obviously I'll hit the stop on this one, and get this all published before, maybe before Rampage. Optimism, I suppose. I need guests, and I'm really kind of like, I see the listens I have, the few so far in this new feed. I really need, this is me. So, I keep trying stuff, and that's why I was talking about, going to Channel Awesome. It's like, well, if they're making movies on the cheap, maybe I can, there's something I can do for them. It's probably easier just to send an email. But, what else can I say? I need to mean something. It was great podcasting, start, because I had people jumping up, friends, and it's like, and things change. People have lives. I don't, I suppose, and I'm a little envious. And I'm trying to make something with this, and nobody gives a shit, it feels like. And you're listening to it, and thank you. But yeah, I'm just, that's my mindset. I'm hoping something cool happens, tomorrow at C2E2. I haven't really looked at the schedule. But yeah, I really need the guest. Let's just do that. I am only looking for, 2 guests a month so I can alternate. I'll do my binges and on the other weeks. But, so if you want to be on the show, want to help me out, you got a lot to say. You want to get political, let's get political. All that stuff. Just theme it around movies, preferably movies under 100 minutes. We'll make anything work. And just send an email to russthebus07@gmail.com. That's RUSSTHEBUS07@gmail.com. Offer me a movie, a theme, a director, an actor, and let's create a slice of fried gold, as they say in Shaun of the Dead. Otherwise, thinking about Lloyd the cat, it's kind of like, well, I could have related to Brad Jones, the cinema snob, like with Skimble passing, the one-eared angel, recently. But I don't know. How do you just straight up relate to people? Like, I do this podcast to show I'm worthwhile, and that's just it. Am I? Is where my head's at. And the only people who ever really told me that is my wrestling trainer, Danny Daniels, and my late best friend, Stacia Harden. And I appreciate her still looking after my ass, and I hope she's doing the same for all of those she touched in her life. And I hope she's petting the shit out of Skimble, the one-eared angel. So, yeah, that's where my head's at, I suppose, is what we got out of the first day of C2E2. Didn't plan to go 40 minutes, and of course I'm going to go and do a mega episode after all 3 days for Monday night. Tuesday, I'd like to say, is the official drop date. I'm just very anal retentive and can't do bonus episodes on the old feed. Again, anal retentive. So, but thank you for listening. 90 for Chill, the podcast. Losing my voice a little bit now, so better relax. Eat some bacon jerky. That's another thing. I still like freaking crowds, and everybody's gonna be down at the restaurant until they go to whatever after hour things they wanted to do. It's like, I don't need wall-to-wall people. So, again, though, thanks for taking the time to listen, and I hope you'll be back for tomorrow. Podcast about C2E2 on 90 for Chill, the podcast with Catbus Russ. Follow me on Twitter at CatBusRuss. Rate and subscribe on your favorite podcast apps. This is a Spotify podcast. Have yourself a good night.